recording, please. I would appreciate it. Soledad, it's all yours.
Super. Excellent. Well, good morning. My name is Soledad Tanner. I am your expert in finance. I can do this in English and in Spanish. I am from Ecuador, came to the US 26 years ago, had a corporate career, came for my MBA, and then retired and opened my business. That's like 30 years in 30 seconds, right? I am the founder of STC Consulting, a financial management and consulting firm. And I deal with business every single day. And lately, I've been working with the PPP and helping businesses apply to PPP. And we're going to talk today about lessons learned in the process. So let me put the presentation. Give me just a second. And so, can you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. So we're going to start, hold on, one moment. We're going to start talking about lessons learned, and probably there's a little bit of a delay, but let's wait for this to change. Perfect. As I said earlier, when COVID started, and then the government got together and they came out with obviously the EIDL loan, which is the same that we always have had in case of crisis, but also they came out with the PPP loan, which is the payroll protection program. And that has been such an eye-opening for so many people, because people were very excited they could apply, and when it was time to apply, then challenges start building along the way. And here is the summary of the top 10 lessons that I personally learned with my clients, business owners, friends, and neighbors. Well, they were trying to apply things that we need to do better for the present and the future, that I think it will help each one of the businesses. Okay, so take notes, and I'm gonna go quickly over them, and we will have plenty of time to discuss them in depth later in the Q&A section. So number one, income tax. It was impressive to see people that haven't not even done 2018 taxes, worse 2019 taxes. And then when the government announced an extension, people sat comfortably. And I have some clients that even asked for a second extension after July. If you don't have your income tax ready and on time, then the whole process, not only of the PPP, but to kind of close the year and move along, it's delayed. And I highly recommend all of you to not to miss any of the deadlines and have an organized process for your income tax. Number two, bookkeeping. Believe it or not, I still have $1 million businesses without a bookkeeping system. And what happens with that, and I have seen boxes, shoe boxes with receipts. And it's not a joke. I have seen that. And what happens with that is when you want to ask for a loan, you want to pay your taxes, you're really incurring more expenses because you're clipping and adding and giving to the CPA, which has a higher payment rate that you will have as a bookkeeper. And also you as a business owner do not have the ability to see how you are doing in March, in April, in September, in October. You cannot run reports. If you have a business, you must have a bookkeeping system. Third, documentation. In order to apply for the PPP, you know that part of it was to pay payroll and part of it was to pay rent. I need to prove that I'm using that money to pay rent. So how do you prove it? With a contract, with a check, with a cash check. So if you are renting the space from your Tia Maria and you do not have a contract and you pay cash, then you're out of luck, because how do you prove that you're using the money there in the right way? If you have a business, there is no cash payment. Everything has to be traceable, and you have to have contracts, and we need to be formal about it. Not only to provide proof to the PPP, but also to have a well-controlled company. Before, I mentioned it, cash payments. It's incredible that we still have people paying cash to contractors. So if you pay cash to contractors, how do you record the cash payments into your system? And how do you keep track of the cash? And how do you create the 1099s at the end of the I don't even want to go into that. Pay with checks, with transfers, and so we can have proof of your expenses. Big one, personal versus business expenses. Still to these days, I have people that have been in business for 4, 5, 6 years and are handling the business with one checking account where they are paying the business, are paying for the mortgage, are paying for the car and the kids. And at the end of the year, they think they will remember what expenses are business related and what expenses are personal. And they start like peeling the onion. That is a non-effective way to do it. It's terrible to prove what are business expenses, and it connects with the other topics of having a bookkeeping system. Don't do that. It's not, it's, you need to have a personal account and a business account, a personal credit card and a business credit card. And so, and also it helps you build your credit and so on and so forth, right? Employees versus contractor, and we will go in detail on that topic in the Q&A section. But contractor is somebody who works for you for a project, has a beginning and an end, brings their own tools, and they have different clients. And at the end of the year, you give them a 1099. An employee is somebody who works for you and you give them a W-2. And everybody has to sign a W-9 so we know the tax ID numbers. So this topic became big because now we're paying payroll, and I have full companies that I had 100 employees that were never employees, were all contractors. So when it was time to say, give me money to pay my employees, we couldn't prove that they were employees because they were not employees, they were contractors. So it's a good time to take a look at what you're doing and how you're treating, classifying your workforce. 7, people got desperate as they start applying, and they applied one and they didn't hear from the bank in a week. So they did a second application and they didn't hear from the bank. And then they did a third application because the first one, they didn't have the paperwork. And now, so 3, 4, 5 applications was a no. They start denying each one, and only the first one was the one that would stay. And I say that because the PPP is still open until August the 8th. So in case this hits home, only one application, and you can update the documentation to that application. That is the only way to go. Banking relationships. So many people did not have a business account, and they didn't know who their banker was, and the banker didn't know they existed, and they didn't have anybody to call. So this is the perfect timing to call your banker and say, hey, my name is such and such, and I am in your neighborhood, and you are my banker, and I sell ABC. So I want you I want you to know about me, and I want to start a banking relationship. How do you start that? Exactly the same that you do a customer relation, a personal relationship. It's talking to people, being present, being there. Number 9, cash management and loans. For many people, they equated asking for a loan as a sign of defeat, like you had not done correctly and you didn't manage your business correctly. And that is not at all the case. So there's a lot of emotions and feelings of being adequate and being successful linked to a loan. And I want you to know that has nothing to do with your net worth, with your worth as a human being. It has more to do with the fact that there is a crisis, a recession, and there is lack of sales, and the loan, and it's there at a very low interest rate to take you through this gap and help us. If we do great cash management, it's a great help for the time being. So, and number 10, many people did not apply because they didn't have either computer knowledge of how to do it, and they still wanted to do it online. And that applied probably for new, mainly to older people And I want just you to know that if that is the case for people that you know, there's always help. And there are other people can help filling, completing the application. There's no reason why you shouldn't apply. And the other one is language, Vietnamese, Spanish. This was only in English, and many clients didn't feel comfortable under completely understanding this. And some other people can help you completing the application. So that is, I would say, the top 10 lessons that I learned with that. So with that, we have been 10 minutes. So I want you to know that being connected with your money every day of your business is helps you to drive your company to where you want to get. If you are driving your car and you don't see the street, you are going to crash. The same analogy happens with your business. We need to learn to talk about money, and we need to learn to need the information about money and the results and profitability and performance, so we drive our business to the direction that we want to drive. So I'm going to go quickly over these, and I want you to write down if any of them apply to you. So I'm helping you with topics for questions. Number one is, are you comfortable analyzing your financial statements? Do you know what they are? Do you know what you're looking for? Do you do it every month? Second, do you know how to improve your cash flow management? What are the different things that you can do to affect and improve the flow? Remember that the cash flow is like opening the faucet in your kitchen. So water comes in and water goes out, and it's keeping the balance of the water as the water is coming in and out. Do you know how you can improve your current ability? Do you know what the financial statements are? What do they mean? And especially more important, that you know how to analyze them, what to look for, what are they telling you? Number four, what are you doing with your debt currently? Do you have a list of the balances and the interest rates in front of you? Are you fully aware? With your eyes closed, can you give me a list of what you're owed in such a way that you can manage it, right? Have you thought about different multiple revenue streams, or are you only selling one product, one service? Can we talk about having more revenue from other sources of things that are around your product or industry? Number six, do you have a budget and a forecast? Do you know how to do a budget and a forecast? And are you paralyzed because you really don't have good numbers to do a forecast, and therefore you don't do it? So let's talk about that, because a forecast is something that is not a fact. It's something that you think is going to happen. How do you handle that? Do you know that there are not only financial reports, but also management reports? What are the management reports that you should be looking at? Do you know your accounts receivables? Do you know your accounts payable report? Do you have a report for the inventory of the raw material that you have? Do you know the sales by customers so far this year, last year? So what are the reports that you should be having in front of you as the leader of this organization, so you can make decisions based on facts? How much money do you have in your inventory? Is there something that you can do to manage the money and the inventory that is all connected with space and payments? Have you reviewed your marketing and budget, your marketing budget and your marketing strategy? This is not a time to drop it. This is a time to revisit it. Where are you getting the most money out of potential leads and sales? So we need to adapt and think of that. Is your price relevant? Is your price current? Do you compare with others, and can you repackage or resize your product? Are you calling your customers every day to say how if the sun is shining in the other side of the world? Are they happy? What do they need? How can you help them? Are they healthy? Is the family okay? Build that customer relationship so deep that they feel terrible if they don't buy from you. That is the number one best and most effective way to get loyalty. Just be present, be there, and be authentic. So the world has changed, and the needs of our clients and of our own needs have changed. Always remember to continue to bring value to your customers, and think about the value added that your products are giving to them. If you don't have much activity, it's time to review your processes at the office. Simplify the processes, because you can save time, and time is money. Have you changed your workflow in a way that is flexible for them and is probably optimizing the manpower? Be very aware of financial scams. I am personally receiving more emails that are scams than ever. So be very, very careful. Don't do anything from an email. Just go straight into the website of the bank or the credit card, and you initiate the contact if you receive something that looks fishy. And number 15, don't forget that there's plenty of community resources that are complementary and that can help in your business. So those are my top 15. And I want to say that in the middle of every difficulties, of every crisis, it always lies an opportunity. So this is a wonderful time for entrepreneurship, because new products, new services are created. And that concludes my maybe 16 minutes of of topics. And of course, if you want, don't never forget that financial knowledge gives you freedom. So please know your numbers. And follow me in social media. And I'm gonna open it to Q&A right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Soledad. That was awesome. Harrison, if you can stop the recording.